So I have a story for you from Haiti. And when you tell a story from Haiti, the tradition is say crick,
Crack.
and you wait for people to say crick, not crick, but crick, crack. And when you say crack, that means that you're listening. So if I say crick, crick, you say crack, crack, and I know that you're listening and that you want to hear a story. So this is a story of the magic orange tree. It's from the book, The Magic Orange Tree, but it's actually a story from Haiti, a very old story from Haiti. And I once taught one of my students to tell it, and her auntie came to pick her up as she was telling it, and she said, "Oh, I haven't heard that story since I was a little girl." Once there was a little girl, and her mother died when she was very, very young. And when she was 12 years old or so, her father remarried, and her stepmother was not kind. In fact, her stepmother was mean and harsh. Her stepmother was so awful that sometimes the girl did not eat dinner, and sometimes she also missed breakfast. Her stepmother was that mean to her. But one day the girl came home from school and she saw on the table, on the kitchen table, a bowl of oranges. Her stepmother was in the next town. She knew she would not be home soon. She looked at those oranges. She was so hungry. The night before she had had no dinner. That morning she had had no breakfast. That afternoon she had had no lunch. And she took one of those oranges and she peeled it. And she put the peel in one pocket and she put all of the pits in the other. And she started eating the sections of that orange, and it was perfect. You know how oranges are when they are perfect? It smelled delicious. It was sweet. It was juicy. It had the sweetest taste and texture. She ate that orange. She was still hungry. So she picked another and she peeled that and she ate that orange. And then she picked another and she peeled that and she ate that orange until there were no oranges left in the bowl. And just as she finished the last orange and put all of those pits in her pocket, she heard her mother at the front door. Not her mother, her stepmother. She went around the back and she was listening at the window when she heard her stepmother come in and look at the empty bowl. And her stepmother said, "Whoever ate those oranges had best say their prayers now, for they will not have time later." Well, the girl started to run. She ran and she ran and she ran. She ran away from her home. She ran down the road. She ran and she ran and she ran. She started to weep as she was running. She ran and she ran until she could weep no more, but she was still running. She kept on running until she came to the cemetery where her mother was buried. She threw herself down on her mother's grave and she started to cry and cry and cry until she was just heaving dry sobs, and finally she fell asleep. The next morning, she woke up and she was a little didn't really know where she was. She looked around. Where was she? And she saw that she was at her mother's graveside. And she sang a song that she used to sing. Stepmother is not real mother. She used to sing it to the trees. She used to sing it to the sky. Stepmother is a hard mother. Well, as she stood up and she was singing her song, one of the little pits fell out of her pocket into the ground. There was a little crack in the ground and the pit disappeared underneath the earth. And as she looked out of that crack in the earth, came up a green shoot that turned into a small sapling that turned into a tree. Orange tree, grow and grow and grow. Stepmother is not real mother. Stepmother is a harsh mother. Well, as she sang, the orange tree grew and grew. It had branches, then it had leaves, then it had flowers. Orange tree, bud and bud. And then it had little buds, little green buds grew right out of those white flowers as she was looking. And then the oranges grew and grew and grew until they became ripe and beautiful. But the orange tree kept on growing. Orange tree, grow and grow. Well, the girl was a smart girl. And so she sang, orange tree, lower and lower and And the orange tree came back down, and she was able to pick an orange. Well, she picked many oranges. She filled her entire apron, and she went back home. And when she was home, she saw that her stepmother was not in, and so she took a bowl down, and she filled the bowl with oranges, and she went to listen outside the window. When her stepmother came home, she said, "Oh, look at these beautiful oranges. Whoever would bring me such a present is someone I could never, ever be cross with. Such beautiful, delicious oranges," said the stepmother. Well, the girl was a smart girl, but she so yearned for a kind word from her stepmother that she stepped into the house, and as soon as she did, her stepmother came up and took her arm and twisted it around behind her back and said, "Where did you get these oranges?" And the girl just sighed and started to cry from the pain. And the stepmother twisted her arm even harder and said, "Where did you get these oranges?" And the girl could hardly speak. The pain was so much. The stepmother twisted her arm one more time. She said, "Where did you get these oranges?" And the girl said, "I will show you." And so they went walking to the graveside of her mother. And there was the beautiful orange tree. Oh, the stepmother looked at those oranges, and she was about to jump into the tree, but the girl sang, "Orange tree, grow and grow and grow. Stepmother is not real mother, orange tree." The orange tree started to grow right up, and the stepmother couldn't get the oranges. She said, "Oh, come on, bring that back down here. I'll be good to you, I'll be kind to you. Let me have some of those oranges." So the girl started to sing again. She said, "Orange tree, lower and lower and lower. Stepmother will be a real mother, orange tree." So the orange tree came down, and the stepmother climbed right up into that orange tree, and she started climbing and eating oranges as if she was a monkey. She was peeling oranges and stuffing them into her mouth, and she had all kinds of orange juice coming out of the sides of her mouth, and she was just grabbing them and grabbing them and grabbing them. Then the girl started to sing again. "Orange tree, grow and grow and grow. Stepmother is not real mother, orange tree. Stepmother is not real mother." And the orange tree started to grow again. It went up and up and up. "Hey," said the stepmother. "Hey, hey, hey, come on. You're putting me too high up in the sky. Bring me down again." The girl just continued to sing. "Orange tree, grow and grow and grow. Stepmother is a harsh mother, orange tree. Stepmother is not real mother." And she kept on going up into the sky. "Hey, come on, help me," said the stepmother. But the girl didn't listen. She sang and she sang until finally the orange tree went crack, and it split into 1,000,000 pieces. And so apparently did the stepmother, because no one ever saw her again. But there was one little seed left from that orange tree that the girl picked up, and she put it into the soil right over her mother's grave. And as soon as she did, a shoot of green came right out of the soil and started climbing up into the sky. The girl sang the tree into life until she had oranges again. She picked those oranges, and she picked and picked and picked, and she brought them to the marketplace where she was selling them, and she told me this story. Then I asked her for an orange, and she gave me such a kick in the behind, I came flying all the way over here to tell you this story. She said, "Give you a free orange? Are you kidding? After all I've been through?" No way. That's the story of the magic orange tree.